How's it going, Tim?
Oh man, it's going good. Today, this is like the biggest week of sales ever for us.
Wow.
Um,
Wait, let
and
me let me do a fair introduction first, real quick.
I,
So, for our subscribers that are going to check this out when they get their first box. So, I'm Jennifer Golden. I am with the Bremery. I'm here talking to Tim Holland with Midcoast Vegan out of Maine, and he is the featured artisan maker in our very first subscription box, which I'm so excited about launching right before, well, it's launching in February, Valentine's weekend. We've got the awesome Pizza de Amore Love Edition rocking in the box so people can be making pizzas. We've got Tim bringing on a smoked mozzarella, and are we calling it a sausage or a salami, the black garlic?
it's a pepperoni. It's a black garlic pepperoni.
Pepperoni. All right. All right. So go
Technically a
ahead now, Tim. I
sausage, I
just
guess.
wanted to give you a fair introduction there.
Awesome. Hey, it's been awesome working with y'all. Thank you for bringing our products in, and it's been awesome. Yeah. So this is a variation of our pepperoni. I mean, our pepperoni is technically a sausage, just a smaller version of salami with pretty much the same spices, but in pepperoni, we put in more fennel and we put in more hot peppers and sun-dried tomatoes to kind of boost the umami a little bit. But
What's
in
the
this one,
spice level? What's the spice
um,
level on it?
like a like a
Okay.
2.5 at a Thai restaurant. Like for I push it a little bit, but not as much as I would personally want it. You know what
All
I mean?
right.
Like anybody can eat our pepperoni.
Great.
And then we pureed a bunch of black garlic, cloves into there, a ton of them, and you can see the marbling. It's very pretty. And then after the pepperoni is done, we put it in the smoker, but it only gets like 15 minutes of smoke, and most of it is just curing in there. So you get a real charcuterie experience. It's like a little hard on the outside, got a nice little rind to it.
I'm
And
so
so
excited.
when you cut it up thin, it will curl on the edges like the pizza of your youth. And then we also got the smoked mozzarella that is made with our hazelnut and oat base. So
Wow.
we make a buttermilk from hazelnuts and oats that is mixed into our hard cheeses. But instead of doing that, we just mix it with a little tapioca and kappa carrageenan and oil, and then we just load it in the meat smoker when it's time for the cheese to set. And so you get a nice little rind on it, but it still melts up and cooks. And it's a subtle, smoky cheese. The mozzarella is also great on top nachos. I had nachos yesterday. I meant to send you a photo of like how well they melted up, but yeah,
Send it. Send it. I'll
yeah.
take it.
But yeah, I mean, you can use this I mean, some people make what's that sandwich with not pomodoro, come on, basil
Caprese.
caprese. People make
Caprese.
yeah, people make a raw caprese or caprese if you're saying it properly with these. Usually when we do the round ones in ice, that I think those are better for caprese, but this will still caprese. It will still work. Oh, I was just
Anything you
gonna
want to
say,
say more?
have fun. This is a really good mozzarella. It's a lot of people say it's the best. It's their favorite. Like I'll go to a farmer's market and sell my mozzarella, not even the smoked version, and then people will be like, "I gotta order 10." And I'm like, "Sorry, see you next time."
Okay, and these are really smoked. You're not putting in the liquid smoke or all, like it's not smoked paprika, obviously, because there's no color there, but you're doing the real deal.
I would never.
Yeah.
Liquid smoke is not in our kitchen. See the color differential? That's oak and hickory.
Yeah, that it makes such a difference to do it that sort of authentic way. So thank you for taking the time and the care and the love to put into your stuff. We're really
You know what?
grateful.
You know what I will say, not to share too many of my incredible secrets, but one of the strengths of vegan cheeses, like excluding this mozzarella, but is that it doesn't melt as well, and so you actually can put it in a meat cooker and make the most smokiest chevs that anyone has ever had, or the smoked cheeses. Put it in a meat smoker. You don't have to cold smoke it. That's my
Yeah, well, very cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to plug your website? You want to plug anything else?
no
Anything
buy our
new
stuff.
on deck?
keep buying our stuff at the Vreemery. We're almost to the point where Vreemery has their own employee over here at Midcoast Vegan. So
Awesome. Very cool. Well, just to let people know, we're still a humble and small company. There's 4 or 5 of us girls holding it down. We just brought on a new woman, Brittany, because Samantha's pregnant and will be retrograding for a bit. And, you know, we're doing our best. So we really appreciate all the people that are supporting us and helping us to support you guys, because our core mission with the Vreemery is to champion and cheerlead small artisan makers, because it's so hard to make it as an independent small batch maker.
you know, if you own this, no one can take it away from you. And that means it can't be taken away from all the people who you're promoting and enabling. And thank you. Thanks for doing it.
All right. Cheers. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much.
Bye, Tim.
Bye. Is that good? Is there anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I'm really grateful for your time. I know you're a busy guy and you got snow to shovel and you probably got animals to feed. So
Oh no, just the dog and the 2 kids are the animals I feed, and they're home.
yeah.
If there's a fucking cloud in the day, they cancel school here. We got 2 inches of snow.
One of the things that so excited me when we first talked on our first tasting call was what you got going on at your farm there. So let people know a little bit about that, because one of the promises on this box is to get to know you a little bit better so that our makers can fall in love with you like we did and want to, you know, be inspired to check out your other product line after seeing what they got in the box.
It's so cool. You know, my journey is like, I'm a musician my whole life, and then I get into permaculture and podcasting, and it just kind of led me, like revolutionary politics. It led me to food autonomy. It led me to the idea that if we really want to fight the power, we need to build our own institutions and like, you know, meeting material needs. So I became obsessed with like planting public chestnut and hazelnut orchards and food forests. And so when I moved here, I found a guy who was really doing that stuff for real, Aaron Parker from Edgewood Nursery. And we started this podcast called Propaganda by the Seed, which is just real plant nerd, anarchist type stuff. And so when I moved to this farm, I got some land. I sold my house in Denver, had kids, moved back home to Maine, and then I got like an acre and a half of land, and I was like, oh, I'm going to live off the land. I'm going to be a doomsday prepper. I'm going to plant hazelnuts. I'm going to be the first vegan cheese farm. We're going to grow hazelnuts. We're going to grow walnuts. We're going to grow chestnuts. We're going to grow Siberian pea shrubs. We're going to grow, you know, just all this crazy, you know, hundreds of obscure perennial edible plants that I just nerded out over. And so that's kind of like what surrounds our house. None of it. So as I was like coming up with the idea of the vegan cheese farm, I taught myself to use hazelnuts. And then when I started doing testings with like sampling sunflower seeds versus hazelnuts, people actually like sunflower seed fermented cheeses better than the hazelnut ones. I was like, well, by the time I have all 30 of these hazelnut trees producing, you know, 50 pounds a year, I'm already like, I'm never going to meet the needs of my business with my homestead. But for me, it's like having access to crazy herbs like spicebush and lovage and, you know, perennial chives and alliums and ramps and, you know, little cranberry bog. I mean, I could just go on and on about that stuff. And so it's like, I'm still learning how to implement all these ingredients into cheeses and into, you know, into all the things that we do. And so that's basically where it comes from, is just like, you know, curiosity, a kind of radical hacker mentality, wanting to use ingredients that are bioregionally available. I do a couple things with cashews because people love them, but I feel like I'm cheating when I use cashews. And like combined with like the water and supply chain stuff, I don't want to be reliant on protein sources that are coming from overseas or really that aren't available bioregionally. So we're interested.
You had said earlier in a different conversation you and I were having that you spent 20 years traveling the world. So, so how, I have to imagine that influenced your crafts terrifically, because now you're talking about growing herbs and stuff that I haven't even heard of. Of course, allium and scallion I have, but the first couple I was like, what is that? So I'm sure that has influenced you greatly in what you're in your craft.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. You know, you're closer to my age than a lot of young vegans are, and that people get used to Beyond Meat and all this, like, the simplicity. But like, I love 90s, early 2000s vegan food, especially in the Bay Area, like Macrobiotic Cafe, and just like really healthy stuff. And traveling the world, I'll be in like Milan, and I'll have like lentil a lentil cheese pasta in like early 2000s. Like, how'd you make that? Like, what's going on here? Or like,
Yeah.
because when you're traveling these squats and playing shows, food is central in all of that culture. Like when you play shows in the rest of anywhere but the United States, people will cook a big feast, and like all the workers, everybody eats together, and it's like, it's beautiful. And I picked up so much stuff. Not so much about cheese though, more about like savory stuff, but also like just being in France and living in Spain, and like looking at these meats and cheeses everybody else gets to eat, being like,
Hmm.
oh man, like, what is that prosciutto? That looks crazy. I want to make it. It's
Yeah.
it's awesome. I miss traveling. Ever since we had kids and COVID, it's like I'm just here on this farm. I travel
So
through
what
my
had
phone.
you get started making cheese? Was it COVID?
Yeah, I mean, me and my wife, like I said, we lived in the Bay in 1998, and so when we moved to like Spain and Arizona, the foods like seitan cheesesteaks and things like that, we weren't getting that in Barcelona, so we had to teach ourselves how to make like simple almond, cashew, soy milk, carrot, potato type cheeses, and we always made seitan. Um, yeah, and it wasn't until COVID hit, and then like I couldn't really work. I was stuck at home. Our kids were home all the time, and music income had, because I'm a musician. I go by soul. I've got like 100 albums out.
Real quick, I just want to also give a little kudos to you that one of the reasons I think that you're slaying it in our shop right now is because you have these hard cheeses that are kind of elusive right now in the vegan cheese scene, the really kind of hard cheeses, especially ones that melt. So that's something that you have kind of got nailed. And we see a lot of people are ordering like your smoked cheddar, the jack, how do you say the jack?
You know what? It's Topsum.
Popsum.
Topsum is the town in Topsum, right over the coast, where like the farm I work very close with is Watley Farms out here, and
Okay.
they've been growing Anaheim style New Mexico chilies here for a really long time. And so, as someone who lived in the Southwest, I get pumped when I can use their ingredients.
Oh
So
yeah, I love, we're all about supporting the small guys, supporting local. So that I just love to hear that.
thank you. It was so cool. Like you're the first time I've ever like sold to a vendor, and then we like had like a Skype meeting or Zoom. I'm a boomer. Zoom meeting, and it just I don't know. I feel like I know you guys, and it's great.
Well, that's why we
So,
do it exactly. So just to tell the people at home, anytime we bring on a new maker, we get product in so we can do a live tasting with our team and theirs and get to know them. So we were able to get to know Tim out of the gate, and that's what we do with our makers because we want to have a connection and relationship, because that's really, at the end of the day, in my world, all that matters is the vibration that we're sharing, the connection, people for people, and being coming from love and kindness and compassion, which is the whole tenets of the vegan culture.
well, as it should be, is to get back to what you were saying about the hard cheeses. I just felt like blending nuts is just it's pretty easy, and I couldn't find good hard cheeses out there.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to figure out like a good method for it. I steam my cheeses. That's how
Yeah.
I'm able to get hard cheeses.
That was sort of our story too. I mean, I'm between LA and San Francisco and Paso Robles, and we started at Farmers Market. And I mean, this is a pretty cowboy right-leaning county, I would say. And I was struck by how well my farmers market business did. We got up to like 12 markets a week and ended up scaling that really, really great. And then, but we had got our foot in the door with a public market that was being built to open a storefront. Because at the time I was like, setting up 12 markets a week was a lot of work, and it sounded really
Wow.
nice to have a storefront. So yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I was really moved by how many people were turned on by this kind of product line. was cool.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean it's because I mean Brunswick, Maine is more of it's it's Bowdoin College is here. It's coastal elites. So it's pretty liberal here. However, like the fact that I could, in 20 years ago in Portland, I couldn't even get a veggie burger, and now
Yeah.
I'm like slanging vegan cheeses.
Yeah, I guess if I had it to do over again, I mean, I love the restaurant vibe and I really sincerely miss it. It was really heartbreaking for us to have to close the restaurant after 5 years. But it's just, that was the direction I was being pointed as sales were declining, but e-commerce sales were growing. And from a perspective of making a difference and being helping people, but also making a difference just with my life and my legacy, it's like, it was an exponential reach to be able to do e-commerce. And so it just, naturally farmers market had to go away, but it was significantly more rewarding and more profitable, just because I got to interface directly with people and then develop relationships with customers that would come back week after week. And it was making such a difference in their life that kind of accolade on the spot is something we don't really get in the e-commerce environment because we're not connecting skin to skin, well, skin to skin, so to speak, with our customer base, so
Hmm.
yeah, scale it and stay, my thing is the storefronts, it's another whole gig, man. It's a different conversation.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Everything's working.
Yeah,
It's all good. But
we're
yeah, I
glad.
mean,
If there's anything else you've got on your mind that you could share, we'd love to know about it.
you know what? I feel like we all stand on the shoulders of giants. I love getting in touch with people. Like it's been fun, like getting to know people like Vtopian and some of the other cheese makers and meat
Yeah.
makers, and like you, I just geek out on this stuff, and I'm just grateful to be here.
This is one of the reasons I'm so grateful for this
It's
community because of what you said. It's like, I think there's a philosophy between us, one that we are able to, there's like enough for everybody. In the vegan consciousness, it's like, it's about unity and community and, that connection.
so thanks for bringing us in.